A very interesting concept that I've come across in a couple of Harvard business articles that I've been reading was that it was no more sacrifices; it was only decisions. This really accomplished businessman in the Harvard who's a Harvard alumni. He came up with this concept of there is no more sacrifices in your life. There's only decisions, and I thought it really resonated with me because I feel like it complements a lot of the other things that I've been saying on this channel and that I plan to say, or skills or lessons or mindsets that I plan to say in the future. And it's this idea that the things that we do, they're not sacrifices. That's something that the idea of the sacrifice is something that we've made up in our head. It's a completely fictional, malleable, thought that we can change, and it's destroyable and it's replaceable. Now, I'm not talking about like sacrifices of like not eating so your children can eat, or to the extreme of like maybe giving up your food or maybe even your life for someone else. Those are real sacrifices. These things that we call these sacrifices, they're really just like blown up decisions, or like over exaggerated decisions in my mind. After I read this article, um, and we recognize these decisions for what they are. Once we recognize these decisions for what they actually are, I make a decision to not go out tonight, to stay in and work, or I make a decision to put my head down and put on the blinders and just focus on the things that I need to do. You aren't sacrificing going out. You aren't sacrificing this candy, this junk food. You aren't sacrificing any of it. It's the decisions that we make. These decisions are completely like it basically is a positive connotation to flip the sacrifices. Like, damn, I have to sacrifice going out tonight, or damn, I have to sacrifice hanging out with my friends, or damn, I have to sacrifice maybe this candy. I'm trying to get on a better diet. You flip on this head. It's really just a decision. And when you make these decisions, they're small little micro goals or small little milestones to a bigger goal. And like I said in the most previous video that I just posted, consistency compounds. The consistent decisions that you make that point towards a bigger goal is ultimately what's going to get you there. And I know this is going to be kind of a quick video, but this idea that these are sacrifices are completely made up in our head. And once someone actually pointed it out to me, it made total sense. None of these are actually really sacrifices. These are just decisions that we make that we they have a negative emotion around them, so we think they're sacrifices. In reality, they're just the decisions that we don't actually like. And I thought that was a really powerful mindset, and I feel like they put in the right hands, it could be very effective. And I've found that it's become very effective in my life. I make decisions not to go out. I make decisions, not to do stupid stuff with people that I should not be doing stupid stuff with. I make decisions to surround myself with the right people, to eat right, to show up to the gym every day, to do the things I need to do on a day-to-day basis that, they point towards a bigger goal. And, that's ultimately what this whole channel was all about. It's about bettering yourself. And the simple mentality of flipping a switch, being like, damn, like this is not a sacrifice. I don't have to sacrifice. I don't have to like, oh, I'm sacrificing this candy. I'm sacrificing, this pizza. I'm sacrificing these friends that aren't actually good for me. That's a decision. That's a positive decision that we make, and it has a positive connotation. And if you only put that positive connotation on it, it becomes positive. All the stuff in that we've made up, it's all social construct. It's all not real. It's malleable. It can be changed. And therefore, why not change it? Why not change it for the better? Why not start making this mindset of, these are my personal decisions. Maybe you see them as sacrifices. Maybe your level of priorities are different. Maybe you prioritize, candy. Maybe you prioritize, hanging out with your friends, or doing stupid stuff, or going out every night and partying. Maybe this is your priority. So to you, they feel like they're sacrifices. But to me, that's just a decision. And that's all it is, and that's all it'll ever be. And if you continue to expand upon this, the limits are really endless. Next thing you know, you're making decisions of like business decisions, life decisions, career decisions, relationship decisions. This isn't a sacrifice. I'm sacrificing certain things for this. It's not. You're making a decision and you have to stick with it, and it's a positive construct to a bigger goal that we're going for. If I want to make $1 million, all right, I'm gonna decide to not go out tonight. I'm gonna decide to do my work. I'm gonna decide to make these sales. I'm gonna decide to hit these milestones, hit these goals within a certain time frame, and it all points towards a bigger goal. And I don't know if that makes sense, but in my mind it does, and I hope that somehow that you can relate to that and you can get something out of that. But I thought it was a really interesting concept that there are no more sacrifices, only decisions, day-to-day decisions that point towards a bigger goal that we're always striving to go for. As long as you have a goal in mind and you know roughly what it takes to get there, then you know that there's going to be just some decisions. And I'm not saying every decision is going to be easy. It's going to be, maybe it will be pretty tough to say no to some close friends of yours that you value a lot and you care for, and they feel betrayed because you don't want to go out to the bars every night. That's just the reality of it. But at the end of the day, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, from when we're done working like a regular job and you want to be living this extraordinary life, the decisions start now. The sacrifices that people have made up, they're really just decisions, and they start now. The small microtransactions that we make in our head of weighing what's our priorities. Am I going to prioritize the fun for now or the fun later, or a career now of doing bull crap, or I guess the lack thereof of career, or am I going to prioritize a career later? These actions that we make now, they have repercussions oftentimes months, years, decades after we've made them, if they're really big ones. And you can't have one big decision without a million other small ones that follow up, or that follow through with them, or come before them. It's not always just one big decision. It's like if you're owning a business, you don't make a couple big decisions a year. You make millions and millions and millions and millions of small decisions, small pivots, whatever the case may be, because you're striving for those big goals. And sometimes you're going to have a big decision and it's going to be a tough one, but that doesn't mean it's a sacrifice.